Hello, welcome to the BayWatch, Mass-based student-run podcast. Introducing our hosts. I'm Rachel.
I'm Jenny.
I'm Manira.
And I'm Will.
This episode is focused on work-life balance. Why did we choose this topic?
A lot of people in the Mass-based community are coming back to school for the first time or getting into the groove of things as a student, so having a work-life balance is really important.
I think we have a lot to balance.
Because it's a great topic. Everybody be doing it.
Oh, wait.
Everybody be doing it. Everybody gotta balance that work.
Now let's hear a little bit from our host.
Hello, this is one of your hosts, Rachel, and this is my second semester at Mass Bay, and I'm a communications major.
Why did you decide to come to Mass Bay, Rachel?
The college process in high school was really hard for me, and I was very stressed, and I kind of tried to avoid it. I couldn't. And my guidance counselor helped me create a list, and I had a top school. And when I found out I didn't get into the top school, I viewed my safety schools, and I said, I actually don't really want to go here. And obviously college is not cheap, so I thought it wouldn't benefit me to make an emotional investment, to make friends and stuff at a different school, and a financial investment to then transfer. So I decided to come here. But I think at my high school, community college isn't really talked about, and there's this Instagram account where people post where they're going to, and my friends were like, why don't you post where you're going to? I'm like, no, because there'd be like Dartmouth and Brown and UVA and all that stuff, and I felt embarrassed. But now coming here, I'm not embarrassed, and if anything, I'm saving money and getting more attention in classes.
Hello, my name is Jennifer. I'm an international student. I'm from Brazil, and this is my 4th semester.
Being on a cruise ship sounds like a difficult job. How did you manage to balance work and life?
Well, it was really difficult because I used to work a lot, but I always try to find ways to manage my time and then to go outside. One of the times I lied to one of the passengers, like a lot of the passengers. one time I had to clean the 10 tables, and then the passengers, they were there talking, spend time, and I knew that they would never leave. And then we were in Italy, so I was like, that's so beautiful, I want to go outside. And then my boss, he came to me, he said, Jenny, if you clean all these tables, you can go. And I was like, what am I gonna do? I need to do something. And then I just screamed so loud, it has dolphins outside swimming. And then I just looked to the other side, everybody just left. They run away, and then wait to see, and then they were there looking the dolphins, and didn't have any dolphins for sure. And then I cleaned very quick, and I was like, wow, now I'm free, I can go. And then one of the passengers, she came back to me, she said, I didn't see any dolphins. And I was like, they are not gonna be waiting for you, they are swimming. And then it was so hilarious.
What's up? I'm Will, and this is my second semester, and I'm a communications major.
So, Will, you've had a lot of interesting jobs as well. You said you worked at a plant nursery. Did you get to have winters off, and how was your work-life balance?
I don't have winters off, and 2 guys stole a tree. Well, they didn't steal it. They accidentally stole it. They just walked out because they're idiots. And then we had to call. I took a picture of the license plate because somebody was like, "Oh, take a picture," and I was like, "Fine." And then we called the police, and they came, and then they went to their house and came back. And then they came back. It was 20 minutes later. It was a huge deal. I didn't think it was a huge deal because, first of all, it didn't come out of my paycheck. But then they came back, and they were yelling at each other in the car, which was really funny because brothers. I mean, I don't have a brother, but I can imagine. Somebody I was working with was like, oh yeah, that's what, he's definitely just ripping them for not remembering to pay. So he had to come all the way back in their minivan.
Hi, my name is Manira. I'm a general business major, and this is my 3rd semester at Mass Bay.
So you went from working in high school, and you don't work now, do you?
No.
How has that been different, managing a lot more time?
Now it's really nice because I get to spend a lot of time doing the things that I enjoy and really fighting for my goal of transferring and working in communication. So now I have a lot of time to kind of set the foundation of my academics as well as my career. So I'm pretty happy with the amount of time I have now. I had a similar issue with you about asking for like more time. I initially was working in the fall before I came to Mass Bay, and then it was kind of a hard decision to think whether I should keep working or just focus on my classes. But I ended up just telling my boss that I wouldn't be able to work because I would always come to work late, like from Mass Bay to my job and taking the highway and everything. So I ended up just deciding to like leave my job. And yeah, since then it's been really nice because I'm able to like section out different times throughout the day, like make sure I have all my assignments in and make sure I'm like doing things that will help me like once I transfer, and also just spending a lot of time like looking for other opportunities or resources that Mass Bay might not be able to offer me.
On today's episode, we are lucky enough to have two guests who also go to Mass Bay. We're joined by
Emmy
and
Jack.
Could you guys tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I'm 22. I'm Brazilian. I was born here, but I moved to Brazil when I was very little and spent most of my life there. I have older siblings. I like air sports, and I'm a criminal psychology major.
Yeah, so hey, I'm Jack. I'm 19, and my major is in psychology. And I've been at Mass Bay for about 2 years now. I'm about to get out, about to graduate.
You've got a dog.
I have a dog.
Important.
Yeah, her name's Ginger. She's very cute. She's a Jack Russell Terrier.
What do you like to do?
I love to play video games. I love to go work out. I love to like run. I love just hanging out with friends, having a good time, just talking.
Good answers.
Thank you.
So, why are you guys here at Mass Bay?
First reason is because it's affordable. It's close to my house, so that's a major reason. I actually started at Mass Bay when I was 17, and I had no idea what I wanted to do. It was just like social pressure. But then I had to leave school for like personal reasons, and now I'm back. And honestly, Mass Bay is just like a really good school. There's like a good community there, and yeah, that's why I'm there.
Yeah, I actually had a similar story. I kind of got out of high school, and I chose to come to Mass Bay because I found it to be affordable, and I found it to be the smartest opportunity for me. And I really liked the community aspect. I had an aunt that went here. She went for the nursing program, and I thought it was nice. And I saw the campus, and I thought I'd be able to adapt. And it was pretty small, and I kind of enjoyed that for the time being. And yeah.
Nice.
Oh, great answer.
Do either of you have jobs right now?
Yeah.
I do.
What do you guys do?
Well, I'm a shift leader at a coffee shop nearby my house. And I actually just got the orientation leader job at Mass Bay. I'm going to start that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Congrats.
Just making coffees and stuff. Pretty fun.
Yeah, for me, I work at a hardware store, and that's the job I've had at the moment, but I've worked at like Papa Gino's pizza shops and all that stuff, so I have food service industry experience and all that.
Yeah, I feel like with work, I've learned a lot of like patience and how to deal with like people in general, and speaking up for myself. Like I was sharing, there was a couple like awkward, unfair situations that I was in, and I feel like this happens a lot. We see teachers as an authority figure, and we don't want to speak up for ourselves when something's wrong or something's unfair. And I feel like just working in general has taught me this skill, like just speaking up for myself.
Here's my question for you. How do you manage your time between work, studies, and personal life?
Oh, okay. Well, I think the first thing is you have to pick which one to prioritize. I think in life there's always going to be things that are more important than the other, and that's okay. As long as you put effort into everything you do, it's okay to prioritize one thing, And right now I'm prioritizing school because I know what I want to do and I need to focus on that, So that's why I work at a coffee shop because, I can care a little bit less about, the hours that I have to put in, or it's not that stressful, that kind of thing. Like,
what do you want to do again?
I want to be a behavioral investigator,
Nice.
Like I want to work in the criminal field, but I don't know, like working in a coffee shop is very different than working I've done behavioral intervention too, and just working as a preschool teacher. These kind of jobs, it takes a lot of effort and time and like time outside of being at work. So I think that's why I started working at a coffee shop again, so I could prioritize one thing over the other, you know. And like right now I'm doing like a lot of like extracurriculars and like, you know, trying to get more engaged in school. And I think that also goes into like my personal life. I had no time for that when I worked at a preschool because I left class, went to work. After work I had to do like schoolwork or focus in my work, you know. So like now that I spend more time in school, I'm making like more friends, you know, and I'm building more like interactions and stuff. I'm in a podcast right now, guys. Come on.
That's awesome.
You know, I'm awesome. You know?
Love it. I love the confidence.
Yeah, for me as well, the question was, how do I manage? So I had some like trials and tribulations with this one because when I first got here, I was kind of not in the greatest spot. And I was living on campus at Framingham State University. And the dorm rooms, they're not like the best place to be studying. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things going around, music playing, people just, you know, doing whatever. And I wasn't really focused, to be honest. I wasn't a part of that life, but I was definitely like affected by like less sleep, less time to eat, or less, you know, working out or whatever. You know, trying to balance social life between like going to school and then making there on time with transportation and costs and everything like that. Financials were a big part of that as well. And over time, I actually got to this semester, my grades started going up when I started prioritizing like a job. I moved back in with my parents and I lived there for free. And I started working pretty heavily for the first time in a while. I've been working like 5 days a week during school. And I realized that was not working like at all for when I was like trying to get good grades and everything like that. And even at a hardware store, it's not as stressful. Like you go there, you go home. You know what I mean? But like we had talked before, it still does. Some stuff does follow you back. I didn't get to touch on that, but it did follow me back a little bit back at those days because it was like a part of my mind. But when it came down to like balancing that, I decided to like kind of prioritize my GPA and my social life by bringing back down the hours I had at work. And I think it's okay to do that as long as you're able to afford it. I really think like most students should bring back some time to focus priorities on school because that shows that you have flexibility, number one, to employers, number two, to like future, like just everything. Like if you can tell people like I made this change to better myself in this way, I think that really goes a long way, especially when it came to like getting better grades. And eventually over time, I started to get back into like extracurriculars and things like that and, you know, better my opportunities, connections, relationships. And when it came to like social ability and all that stuff, everything just sparked. Like within that time that I was like, all right, I'm really going to lock down on being better, not only there, but like health wise and, you know, classes and everything. And it really sparked a better part of me that I see now. So, and that all goes intertwined with like mental health. And I know a lot of people struggle with mental health and I did too. And when it comes to that, that can take up a lot of your time too, like in general. So just want to take space for that too, because that's something that people need to be able to take care of as well when they're working and they're doing extracurriculars and they're running for like paying bills or whatever they're doing or taking care of a kid or a family or whatever they need to do. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Those are great answers. You're telling me that you've never been on a podcast before?
No.
Is there anything that you guys do in your free time to help your mental health?
I can speak on that. Yeah. I had mentioned before how I kind of made a lifestyle change throughout the semester to kind of be better for like grades and stuff for GPA, focus on that. And during that time, I kind of just was like, all right, what can I do to improve everything else in my life right now? Because I realized that overall my mental health was kind of staying stagnant and wasn't really going anywhere. I was kind of just like, some days I feel good, some days I don't. I'm not really doing much. So I figured out, you know what, maybe I should start lifting, running, or doing some things like ice skating. Like I love ice skating. I love playing like basketball or throwing around with my guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like play football or something like that. Like something can get my mind off of whatever's going on. I love listening to music. You know what I mean? Like, music's really influential for me. It's like something I cannot live without. And that helps my mental health, regulating that. But like, I don't know. Yeah. Something about physical exercise and getting outside to be like, you know, going ice skating or something like that. That's my favorite thing to do.
For me, I relate when you say like connecting with nature. I'm a very outdoorsy person, so I try to go outside as much as I can. I'm very lucky because behind my house there's like a trail, so I try to go on walks daily, you know, listen to music, try to de-stress. But my main thing is just relying on the people around me, you know. I feel like it can get really lonely sometimes, like life in general, and everybody is pretty much going through like very similar things. Even if they have completely different jobs or, you know, just life in general, everybody's going through like the same like emotions of like feeling like the pressure to succeed and like, you know, there's so much to juggle with, you know. Is that the right word, juggle?
Yeah.
But you know, but you know, there's so much to juggle with, and sometimes it can get very overwhelming, especially like paying bills, right? Like sometimes I cry because I'm like, bro, I have no money. I can only pay my bills this month, and I'm gonna have no money for myself to do anything. And that's something that's been happening a lot now lately, actually. Like, I have no money for anything, and it's very stressful. And just like April, right? April, we hate April. There's so many exams and projects and presentations, and all the stuff can pile up and it can get very overwhelming. But if you just lean in the people around you, it can get like less harder. You know, it's easier. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like when you talk to someone too,
like
just in
we're
general,
buddies.
yeah,
We're buddies. Like making connections. I feel like when you realize that the people around you are dealing with the same things, it makes you feel less lonely. You know, and you can just like vent and like talk about
reaching out to someone is not like a, you know, bad thing to do either. I mean, you don't have to be full blunt with them like, oh, I'm having a bad time, but just, you know, like, what's up, man, like, how you doing type stuff. Like, that's cool too, you know what I mean? And I think that helps a lot. Like, yesterday I told you how stressed out I was. We both have a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? And we're actually starting a club together, which is awesome. You should probably
shout out.
Join. You should join. Yeah, but basically we had to do some flyers for some of that, but it kind of took my mind off of like, yo, like I got a ton of stuff that's kind of piling up right now and I really can't do much about it. So I called with you and we just went over whatever it was. And even though it was school based, it was just talking to someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you see someone you can laugh, you can talk about something, it always helps mental health, in my opinion, or just whatever you're dealing with. It can help you realize that like, maybe for some people it can help them have a perspective or gratitude. Like, oh, I'm still got friends. I still got some time, you know, to do this. And, you know, I still got some stuff going for me that's still good. And that's the reason I'm stressed out. I got a lot going for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
yeah, I feel like sometimes you don't even have to talk either. You're just like being surrounded by people who care about you is really important. Like, you know, building relationships, making sure that you're like connected with people. You don't have to be like the most social person ever, but just like, you know, my cat, I'm telling you, you know, she knows. And I get home and I'm so stressed out, and then she'll just meow meow, and I'll go, you know, you know, I just like put my face on her and just like, that's it, you know, that's all I need.
Meow meow.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meow meow meow. No, I'm telling you. Yesterday, we were talking on
seen her cat on
FaceTime,
FaceTime,
and she was just sitting on the table next to me the whole time, you know. She keeps me company, and I don't know, like sometimes I'm like really upset, and like she knows. She'll just come to me and be there for me, and it makes me feel so much better. And sometimes I'm like working on a project or doing something, and I'll just take like a 5-minute break to just cuddle with her, you know.
You can find those relationships in a lot of things. Like, you can find that with music. You can find that with a cat or a dog, or even faith for some people, or something like that. Like, there's a lot of different ways to find that relationship, but I feel like having a healthy relationship is what's the best for mental health. So
we were just talking about today in my social problems class, shout out, but we were talking about health and what it means to be healthy, right? Because that's also different to everybody. Everyone has a different way to cope. Everyone has a different way as to how they view like health in general. Some people need to like work out every day or like eat healthy or get a certain amount of rest, or people have different access to health too.
Yeah.
So not everybody has access to therapy,
Yeah.
so you can just like journal or color or go for a walk or do whatever it is that makes you feel good about yourself, regardless of how other people think.
So for me, I do therapy that helps me so much because I feel after the pandemic was like such a terrible time, and then I miss a lot of my family, so therapy helps me a lot. And I feel that I do a lot of like exercise, and I try to do a lot, find new hobbies because I feel that is very important. So far I'm doing like hot yoga that I've been enjoying, and boxing,
Nice.
and sauna because I
Nice.
like sauna. But I just stay for 5 minutes.
How do you like boxing? Are you cardio boxing? What are you doing?
I'm pretty bad,
That's
but
fine.
I really enjoy.
As
You
long
know
as
what?
it's
If you're
fun,
not stepping in the ring, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Like you said, I like to write. I
Mhm.
just open a Google Doc and just like a stream of
Same
conscious.
thing.
And I like to play guitar and
Ooh.
piano.
Okay, I can go next. I like to journal, like you guys spoke about a little bit. I keep like really extensive journals actually, and like if I have like printed pictures, like I keep that as well. And just doing that, it can be really nice. Like I think that it might not be like, it's definitely not as good as like going to therapy or something, but it can be nice to like look back on like what I was struggling with last year or like the year before and really realize like how much I've changed or grown or like different things like that. That's always really helpful. And it's just nice to have like a place where like I can just write something and like no one will ever see it or like it will never see the light of day. I think that's really nice because like it really takes off the pressure of like trying to say it in the perfect way, I guess. So that's something that's really helped me in the last year or so. I started that like right before I came to Mass Bay. So it was nice to see like me starting school for the first time versus like now having done it for like over a year and everything. And I think also like with social media, like I feel like I literally can't remember what happened last year, like what I was dealing with, or like just I feel like it can be so easy to like compartmentalize and be like this problem has nothing to do with like what I'm dealing with now. But it's really nice to like go back and like even if it's just like a mundane like I did this today, I did that today, like it can be nice to realize like, oh, like that was me a year ago.
Well, I don't think that we could have asked for better guests. So thank you guys so much for coming on. We really appreciate
I
you guys
appreciate
coming.
that.
Thanks for the
Yeah,
invite.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Anytime, honestly.
We loved having Jack and Emmy on our podcast, and we also got to hear from some students at Mass Bay.
Can you tell me your full name, please?
My name's Maria Guimarães.
What's one thing that helps you balance your course load?
I think just the environment here, honestly. I feel like everyone's super welcoming and you can talk to pretty much everyone that you want. There's also a lot of diversity on this campus, and I just love it, honestly. I love it here.
Perfect. Would there be any kind of one tip you would give for staying and having a work-life balance?
I think, honestly, just surrounding yourself with the right people and, like, having similar goals, it just helps you stay motivated, like, and motivate each other.
I'm here with.
Jacob.
All right, nice to meet you, Jacob. Do you feel you have enough time for your personal life?
Yeah, I do now that I'm not working full time.
Is there one thing that you could say helps you balance your course load?
Yeah, I would say making time for everything, showing up for class early, that keeps you ahead, and just making time for stuff.
Cool. I hear you play basketball here. Does that count into your personal life? You like doing that?
Oh yeah, 100%, yeah.
When you work full-time, like
Yeah.
how did you manage everything?
Yeah, so when I worked full time, it was kind of hard, man.
Do you work in graveyard?
Oh yeah, I was.
Damn.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, but I needed the money at the time, but now I think Mass Bay's resources have kind of helped me kind of like deal with the money stuff. So yeah, I had to make sure my classes are in the afternoon. So after work, go back home, get some sleep, then get ready for school, then do homework after class. So that kind of like helped me stay ahead. I mean, if you got to work full time, just do it, but you got to make sure you're not studying full time. Like maybe be a part-time student. If you're not involved in sports or anything, just be a part-time student so you can work full time, because not everyone's 20 years old like me. Yeah.
I'm with Mabel and Tallene, and we are asking some questions about work-life balance. So, Mabel and Tallene, what's your personal rule for avoiding burnout?
I think just keeping myself really organized. I tend to feel like I'm burning out more when my home environment is really messy. So I make sure I take a moment every day to like clean up my room. I'll go to the gym, just like have like a little bit of me time every day. So I'm not on the verge of running away.
Mabel, what about you?
Honestly, piggybacking on Taleen's answer, taking myself out of like a messy situation. Like I try to go to the library a lot. My home, I love my family, but sometimes they're loud as hell. So, and I started recently using a planner. Never used a planner before in my life, so I write down like everything that's going on.
How do you guys know when you need a break?
When I feel like I'm about to run away from all my problems. No, definitely like if I just feel overwhelmed and I need to take a step back. If I've been sitting down for like hours trying to work on some assignment, I'll go on like a walk. Love a good walk. The weather's been getting nicer. I'll put on music that I enjoy. Get myself pumped up to like finish the assignment.
My name is Sophie Ataya.
Do you feel like you have enough personal time for self-care?
Oh, definitely, yes, 100%.
Really?
Alex Juarez. I do not work on campus, but I am the president of the Veterans Club. A lot of times when I'm in school, I like to make sure the veterans are taken care of. Even just coming to the bunker to say hello, to make sure everybody's doing well. Even just like in the personal reasons, like if on one-to-one basis, I would just talk to somebody and see if they're doing okay.
So do you use any on-campus resources such as like the tutoring, advising? Obviously, you told us about clubs to like help manage your course loads.
Yes. So currently right now, I am trying to apply. I'm filling out applications for transfers for colleges I'm trying to transfer to. And I'm using the Academic Achievement Center. I also do use, obviously, my advisor. I also do like when there's like the mobile food market. Sometimes I do volunteer to pass out food, but I also obviously do take advantage of it sometimes and get some food for myself. And yeah, that's really what I use in the school. Yeah.
So how do you spend your free time if you do have any?
I do have very limited time for myself. I do commute here from the state of New Hampshire. So I live sometimes an hour away or maybe longer. I do wake up early in the morning. I go to the gym, maybe an hour or so. I guess my personal time really just trying to do as much as I can and make sure that I'm at least mentally well by going to the gym or having a few minutes to myself. One of the things I do like to do is just going for walks or hiking. I play piano, guitar.
Oh, wow.
And I do sing. I used to make music, but I don't anymore. I guess that's really it for my free time. I do love hanging out with friends too. So.
Hi, can you tell me what is your personal rule for avoiding burnout?
When I feel like I do not want to be around anyone and I'm feeling stressed, I just remove myself from everything, whether it is I need to call into work or I am not coming to class. But I really try to avoid feeling that way.
And what is the funniest thing that happened at work?
A patient came in fully wrapped up in tinfoil and said that she was allergic to Wi-Fi and that protects her.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It was so good getting to hear different student perspectives, and I'm so glad we were able to get to know a variety of math-based students. I wanted to ask the other host, what was your favorite part of developing and creating this podcast?
For me, probably not having much expectation in the beginning and seeing how doing a podcast can be super fun, how much we can learn from other people's experience and getting to know each other here.
Yeah, I also had fun getting to know everybody and just seeing the podcast develop from the first class, just talking about it. We had a bunch of classes just talking about it, and seeing it come to life was a really cool experience.
I really liked getting to meet new people. Like during our on-campus interviews, it was really cool to just go up to random people and be like, hi, like, where are you willing to talk about our podcast? I thought that was really nice. And also just how willing everyone was to open up and talk about their experiences and talk about things that like are vulnerable for them. Like in our studio interviews, it was really nice to, you know, get to know people that we wouldn't have met if I like didn't do the podcast. So
it's your turn. So
It was like I like the interviews. I like how you stole the whole thing. What else can I say?
taking your hood off, getting more confidence.
bullying me.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah. We could keep that part.
Well, my favorite part was easily the people that came in.
And their names were?
Jacob and Amy. No, they were pretty cool.
I found a new friend.
That was mostly the part that we cut.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to our podcast. We really appreciate it. And maybe tune in next year.
Yay!
Go Buccaneers! Oh, okay.